Let's do a high five.
Woo! Oh no, we're not supposed to.
With our hands.
There's a COVID-19 high five. Woo! Okay, so we've been talking about just care in the facility here in general, and I kind of want to transition now to specifically births, and should we have to transfer you in labor for any reason. While we want to do our best to be able to provide your ideal birth location at this time, we find ourselves needing to make some changes to the way we usually do things. And we apologize in advance for any disruptions this is going to bring or this might bring to your birth plan. We want to let you know that at this time, we are not planning to limit the number of people you have available to support you during your birth. But we do want to make it clear that children are not going to be allowed to be present for your birth. And we want you to think carefully about who you want present with you for your birth, because they're going to be in the room with you, not in a waiting area. And so these need to be people that you're really, really comfortable with and that truly are a support and encouragement for you. And we also have found over the years that the more people you have present, the longer your labor can be sometimes. And so we really do want you to be paying attention to your relationship with people, how close you are to them, how comfortable you are in front of them, and making sure that these are people that are going to help your labor and help this time and be a support and encouragement for you, and not somebody who's going to take anything away from your birth.
So yeah, following those same that same guideline, we do have some criteria when it comes to your support people. And this does include the pregnant woman as well. If you or anybody that is a part of your support team has been exposed to anybody who's tested positive for COVID-19, is a person under investigation or a PUI, or is exhibiting any of the symptoms, being cough, sneezing, fever, it's greater than 100.4, or increased fatigue, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, any GI issues, wasn't sure if I mentioned that one, but if any of those symptoms are what you're experiencing or your support person is experiencing, then they will not be allowed in the facility. And this is included for home births and birth center births. We know that can cause some disruptions when it comes to spouses and that the other important individuals, and even for the pregnant mom herself. And we don't want to have to implement that, but for the protection of our mamas, of our families, of ourselves, and even the future clients that we have, we want to be protecting everybody involved, and so we're having to take these measures potentially. Now, if you, the pregnant mama, happens to test positive for COVID-19, is a person under investigation, or is experiencing any of those symptoms that I listed just previously, then your care will have to be transferred. And this again is involving women in labor, or within the window of that time. So we unfortunately, again, don't want to have to transfer care. We want to provide you with the birth that you have been anticipating and dreaming of. I mean, we want to continue journeying alongside you, but when it comes to COVID-19, we are having to take those precautionary measures, just again for the safety of everybody involved. And so for this, because there's not a whole lot of research on this and the causes and spreads of all of it, we are going to have to transfer that care.
And along that line, if you're planning a home birth, specifically, and anyone in your home is exposed, then we are looking at whether we need to transfer care to the birth center or potentially to a hospital, and we'll just have to take that on a case-by-case basis and see what we feel is best for everybody in the moment for that. We also are going to be asking that all visitors wait until you've been discharged from the birth center and are in your home before they meet your new baby. And that includes your other children that you might have. And I know that that's really not what most of you want, and I understand that. But again, we're not equipped right now for having children in the building, and that just makes it more difficult for everyone. And they are the ones who tend to leave the most germs around. So even though they don't seem to be getting cases of it, and there just aren't very many known cases involving children, they can still be carriers and they can still be spreading it. So we just feel like that right now we have to limit visitors to nobody besides your support team for the few hours that you're here at the birth center. And the same is true for home. For the few hours that we are present in your home, we are asking that grandparents and other visitors and siblings not be present for your birth and not come into your home until after we have discharged you from care and left your home.
In addition to that, I know it's been kind of standard in the past for us to come to the homes for the 24-hour postpartum visits if you've done a home birth. But that's going to be changing to where we do all the postpartum visits here at the birth center. It's going to be a little bit easier for us to be able to maintain the sanitization of everything here. And we can limit who goes in, who goes out. And so again, for protection of everybody involved, we are going to be implementing that change where we do all postpartum visits here at the birth center.
Right. And this one is really difficult for me. I've never sent anybody to the hospital without accompanying them and being there in a support role. But because our hospitals here are limiting the number of people you can have with you, currently it's one, and it is even under discussion to not allow anyone to be with you in the hospital. And that just breaks my heart for all the women who are enduring that. But due to the fact that you're only allowed to have one person, and we typically feel like that should be your partner, we are not going to be accompanying you to the hospital in the event of a transfer at this time. If there's a medical need that we need to be present for during the transport, then we will be present for that time, but we won't be entering the hospital and continuing to provide support. We will call the hospital of your choice and let them know that you are on your way, whether you're coming by private vehicle or by ambulance. We will give them reports, and we will fax your records to them so that they have all of the information that they need to have at that point. And we will remain available to you and to your care providers by phone for any additional information they may need clarified or anything like that. But for the time being and for the foreseeable future, we will not be accompanying you and entering the hospital due to just the risks of us being exposed to the virus and limiting our ability to continue to take care of our other families. So just in closing, know that we are doing our best to stay healthy, and we ask you to do the same. It's our privilege to get to walk this journey with so many different families, and we want to continue to remain as close as possible to the care that we have always provided and that we will continue to provide when we get out from under this pandemic and we are able to go back to a more relaxed environment all the way around. Know that we're looking forward to walking with you in the rest of your pregnancy and your labors and deliveries and through the postpartum. And we thank you for the privilege of allowing us to do that with you. I think that's it.
I think so.
All right. Thanks so much.